Arcade Perfect by Arse. Okay guys, welcome to another Arcade Perfect by Arse. This week I'm going to be taking a look at Rodland, a platform game released in, I think it was 1990 by a company called Jaleco. Now I was actually quite surprised that I haven't featured this game because this is one of my favourite games. Myself and my daughter Ava, we used to play it all the time. She doesn't play it quite so much now, she's getting a bit too grown up for stuff like this, but we used to love playing this in MAME on the, playing 2-player. Now the idea is you play the part of a little pink-haired fairy type person, and you're trying to rescue your mum who has been kidnapped and placed in a big tower. Now normally games, I've noticed that arcade games that I don't seem to like tend to be very, very cutesy games. Stuff like Rainbow Islands, Bubble Bobble. Yep, I know, Bubble Bobble. I'm not a fan of that. And this game should tick these boxes because it's very, very cutesy. But I just love the game mechanics. It's really, really good fun. You've got two buttons. Oops, a daisy. One button draws a ladder. You can basically create a ladder anywhere you want. And then the second button is it gets a hold of the baddie in a sort of, I don't know what it is, a magic wand, and you just keep pressing it. You need to keep firing the fire button, and you sort of bonk them from side to side until you eventually turn them into, either destroy them or they get turned into a sort of power up of some sort. Now for bonus points you can collect all the wee flowers, and then collect the flowers first, then go after the baddies, because then they turn into these red sort of faster baddies, but you get more points. But you can play, simultaneous 2 players, and there's some really nice power-ups. So the big rocket there. I was going to say it's an easy game, you know what, I think because because of my daughter's age, she used to get very frustrated dying all the time, so we used to put it on the infinite lives. I was going to say it's quite an easy game to play. I wouldn't say it's easy if you're playing it on 6 lives, or 3 lives I should say, but it's an excellent game. If you've never played Rodland, go and play it. Music's really good as well. And I've got some real nice sort of variety with baddies. We've got some killer sharks, and are they walking leaves? I don't know what these green things are. Oh! Yeah, nice big bomb up. That was lucky. Yeah, you get, power up, you get different sort of bonuses and that kind of stuff for extra points. But it's a fantastic game, it really is. But it's tremendous fun playing, simultaneous 2 players. Oh, bollocks. Yeah, anyway, that is the arcade one. So let's take a look at some home versions. Kicking it off, we're going to look at the Game Boy one. First time I've ever actually seen this one. This was released by the Sales Curve. That's excellent, it's even got the little intro bit. Absolutely spot on. Obviously you can see there, the Game Boy screen isn't the biggest, so what they've done here is they've opted for some scrolling, but that's excellent. Yeah, it's black and white, or it's black in different versions, sorry, it's white in different colours of grey. That's fantastic. I notice it says 2-player up, so I wonder if you can link Game Boys together and use that to play 2-player action. I'm not too sure. That's the thing about the Game Boy. It was such a, it came out so long ago, but it was actually such a great little machine. Most of the arcade conversions that I've looked in it have always been really, really top notch. But this is so playable. This is excellent. Even the music's really good as well, that's brilliant. I don't think you can die from falling from a great height. I don't think you can. I think you're completely safe to sort of run and jump off ledges. That was a bit of a waste, I don't know why I did that. This is an excellent version, really, really good. I mean, it's so responsive as well. It just goes to show, you know, it's all about, it's not so much about the hardware, it's about how good programmers are. Because, I mean, in this version here, you're working with very, very limited hardware and graphics. I don't know what the graphical resolution of the Game Boy was. It wasn't very high, but this is fantastic. It's such a fun game to play. I could sit and play this all day actually, but I really want to look at other versions. Ah well, anyway, listen, that's the Game Boy one. That is a really, really nice version. Right, this one is on the Atari ST. Never played this one before. I'm guessing there's sound, is there? Ah, there certainly is. Yeah, very pretty. Very pretty. I mean, the wee cutscene there was really colourful. Looked very arcade-like. This is pretty spot on. Maybe plays slightly more sedate than the arcade one, but that's not a bad thing. And again, I'm guessing this will have 2 players at the same time. And if you want to complete levels quick, then, you know, kill the baddies and move on. But if you want to do it for points, then you're better to collect a lot of plants, and then they turn, the baddies themselves turn into what look like bulbs, I think. And you get more points. You've also seen there, I picked up a letter E. I think if you spell the word extra, you get, I don't know what you get. I should know how many times I've played this game, but interestingly, in the arcade, even the arcade version, although I've never played it, I've never played the real arcade cab as such. You know, when I play this, it's always in MAME, and it does slow down, and apparently the arcade machine used to slow down as well. It's bizarre because it doesn't seem to happen, like, particularly when things are busy. It just seems to happen a bit randomly. But yeah, I thought it was maybe just emulation in MAME, but apparently this is the actual arcade machine itself suffers from slowdown, but certainly doesn't detract from the game itself. Oh, you need to watch out for these I was going to say bullets. Was that him spitting? Disgusting habit. One thing I'm not sure about is what actually happens if you don't kill. Like, I mean, I notice he's getting a bit quicker. Oh. He seems to have kind of stuck himself into the wall there. Yeah, I'm guessing, you know, like Bubble Bobble, they get faster and faster. I'm assuming that the same thing's going to happen here. Now, to get up to the higher levels, what you need to do is stand atop. Oh, that was silly. Stand on top of a balloon and it'll take you up to the top. And you can't jump in this game, so I technically can run up there, but I'm going to be too late. Let me go. Word of warning, the baddies also ride on top of balloons, so you just need to be careful. Like so, we'll just wait for him. Come to Johnny. Oh, what's going to happen there? Ah, okay, just fall off the top. Oh, it's going to be death. It is indeed. Anyway, that is Atari ST. That is a wonderful version. Right, this one here coming up. Just didn't mean to skip it there. This is the ZX Spectrum one. It's obviously done away with sound. Well, you've got sound, but there's no music to speak of. And it's going for a plain black background as well. But graphically wise, it's really impressive looking. And it feels super responsive as well. Must admit, I've never actually played a bad version of this game yet, so here's hoping that trend continues. Now with the Spectrum one, you just press the fire button once and it'll make a ladder. Or if you press it quick when you've got a baddie, then it kind of captures them with a little wand, but dead easy to play. But it's super playable as well, which is really good. You would not be disappointed with this. The first time I ever played Rodland was on the Amiga. I mean, as I've mentioned lots of times, I didn't really have any access to arcades where I lived, so you know, all these games, the first time I saw most of these games was just when it came out for the home computers. I must admit, it was amazing ability when I eventually got MAME to actually be able to play the arcade versions of games that I'd only ever seen on computers. And some people have asked me, why would you play this on a Spectrum when you can play the arcade one? Well, you know, they've got a point. As much as the arcade one is always going to be the best version, arcade games are not really written to be particularly playable, they're written to be extremely difficult. So sometimes home versions are actually more fun to play, they're better fun to play because, you know, the difficulty has been sort of turned down slightly. Right, now this, in this what you need to do is destroy each crocodile, but what they do is, you'll notice, they spit out little crocodiles, so you just need to keep blasting them. And when the wee baby crocodiles come towards you, you can zap them with your magical wand. Oh. There doesn't appear to be any sort of energy bar as such to know how much you've got to hit them. But if I remember from like the arcade version, you've got to blast them quite a bit. Well, there you go, that's 2 down. It doesn't actually show you any animation when you're hitting them, does it? Oh, it does, I beg your pardon. Well, if you keep blasting them, it kind of sticks with the same animation. There we go, 3 to go. 3 down, 3 to go. It's actually quite an easy sort of end of level baddie type thing. Actually super cute, the little baby crocodiles. I think the Arse at the top. Is that one of the little plant things? I think it is. Almost there. Couple more goes surely, and we should be there. Come on! Hey! Anyway, listen, that's enough of that. That's a Spectrum one, that is top notch. Right, this is the Commodore Amiga one. This is the one I used to play back in the day. And if I remember rightly, it's a pretty stonking conversion. Looks very similar to the Atari ST one. I think slightly better use of colour. I wouldn't say better use, the Amiga could display more colours, so I think it's certainly more colourful looking than the ST one. But this is just as I remember it. Really, really nice. I think if it wasn't for the little bit at the side, on the right hand side, if you cut that out, you know, you could be forgiven for thinking that this was the arcade one. This is excellent. You know, I don't think you can bang. I was trying to get hold of that baddie there and bang them off fresh air, but you just drop them. Well, I'm sure I've played some versions where you seem to be able to bang them off fresh air, but in this one, let's wait for him. Pop! Yeah, even the sound, the music sounds so much like the arcade one. It just goes to show just, you know, how capable the hardware was back then. It was all just about getting people who could program properly and obviously take the time as well to make a good conversion. Got to say, this is probably one of the, I would say this is probably the best arcade conversion on the Amiga. I mean, R-Type is a fantastic conversion. Trying to think of other good conversions, but certainly this is up there. You'd really be hard pushed to find any criticism with this version. Ah, damn it. Watch out for Jaws's spit. Right, come to Dad. Ah, he doesn't want to come down. I think the power-ups do eventually disappear after a while. Hey! You can see him gearing up to start running quicker. There were so many of these kind of platformy games, you know, back in the 90s. But this one's a standout one for me. Just with its novel, you know, novel way you can make your own ladders, and also the actual way you kill them as well was really nice. Oh. The wee expressions on the sharks. Look at the wee guy at the bottom. Brilliant. And this is, I'm not a fan of sort of cute looking games, but this one, I make an exception for this game. And I think if you don't kill these kind of bulbs, I think they change back to the normal shape, but they go even quicker. That was a waste. What I should have done there is made a ladder go up and then down the other side, and then use the missile thing to kill one of the sharks. Now I'm sure in one version I played you can actually get multiple baddies in one go, but I don't think you can in the arcade one or the Amiga. But anyway, listen, that is Amiga one, that is utterly fantastic. Right, next one up is the Amstrad one. Unfortunately, it looks like I have spoken too soon. I did say earlier on that I haven't seen a bad version of this. This could well be the first one. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what. I mean, graphics, the actual graphics themselves look alright, but you can see there, it just plays so slow. I don't know why. It's not like they're super high-res graphics. Is it a bad version? I wouldn't think it's a bad version. I mean, I'm sure if you got this for your Christmas, you'd have probably been quite happy. But I think compared to every other version that I've seen so far, it's certainly the least good. Is that grammar? I don't think it is, but you know what I mean. It just plays, it's very, very sluggish. It does look nice, but it's very sluggish. It's almost like they've tried to, I mean, if you look in the shading, even in the walls and that kind of stuff, plus it has to load every level. What's that all about? None of the other 8-bit versions that we've looked at, it has to load each level. So I don't know why that is. But yeah, I mean, they've gone for some nice shading. If you look at the bricks, it's got like 3 different colours. Perhaps, if they'd kept the colours down, it would have sort of kept the speed of the game up. I'm not too sure. It's not a particularly bad version, but compared to the others, it's every other version I've looked at, I would say, is better than this one. It's a shame, and out of all the whole computers, the Amstrad seems to be the computer where a conversion is either going to be amazing or it's going to be complete pish. I don't know what it is. The C64 tends to be fairly consistent, as does the Spectrum. The Spectrum always goes for, monochrome graphics. But I don't know. But as I said, it's not a particularly bad version. It's just, it's not the greatest. Compared to every other version I've looked at, they've all been excellent. But it just, you can see that even the actual movement, it's not that smooth. So I dare say in, another programmer's hands, this could have probably been top notch. I mean, graphics are really, really nice. Maybe I'm just being overly picky. I don't know. Some days I think to myself, have I got it in for the Amstrad? Not at all, because I mean, there's been a few games that I've looked at in Arcade Perfect, and I have voted the Amstrad one the best. So it's just, I always go by what I think. Always, you need to remember, guys, this is just my opinion. Just because I say something doesn't mean it's right. But that's the Amstrad one. So let's a couple more versions to look at. Right, this is the NES one. Interesting to see how this one plays, because the NES, for whatever reason, they always take the arcade game, they take the basis of the game, and they tend to do their own thing. They tend to tweak the graphics, tweak levels for whatever reason, rather than just going with a straightforward port. They always sort of like to do it their own way. Right, nice little graphics. Nice sound as well. Again, it's got a two-player option, obviously. Nice and responsive as well, and it uses the 2 fire buttons excellently. One for ladder and one for bonking the opponents. I notice it's kind of come up with its own music. So again, they've kind of, and I think I was going to say the levels are different. I think this is the same as arcade level, the second one. Possibly could have done with slightly better use of colour. It's all very, very yellow. But the important thing is, it looks like the game, and it plays really well as well, that's what you want. They've always kind of gone for a sort of higher resolution as well. You know, everything's very detailed. Everything looks that bit smaller, but it looks nice and crisp. I walked right into that one. Yeah, it moves along at a fair old lick as well, which is nice. I was quite surprised not to find a version of this for the Master System. Unless of course they didn't get the license for it, I'm not too sure. But it says it plays really well. It's really fluid and it, you know, it moves along at a fair old lick as well, which makes it enjoyable to play. I don't know why they changed the music. There's always a reason. There's always a reason Nintendo decide to take the game, take the basis of the game, the idea behind the game, but they want to do their own thing. I'm not sure why they do that, because as a consumer you would always want your version to look, sound as close to the arcade one. Yeah, I think this one, yeah, right, okay, so again it's they've slightly tweaked it. It's a slight sort of rehash of the arcade one, but still really nice. So anyway, to move on, the very last version I'm going to look at is the C64 one. Now what's interesting about this one, it was actually written by my mate Steve Snake. I did interview Steve a couple of months ago, I think it was, for Blind Mates Only. Now I do know I have played this one briefly and it's an absolute stonking version, and I'm not just saying that because Steve programmed it. It's a really pretty game. Yeah, what I love about this particular version, I mean it doesn't look like a Commodore 64 game. What I remember Steve saying to me was he'd used a sort of high res for the character, and then they wanted the sort of black outline around it, and I've got to say it looks amazing, it really does. And the baddies themselves look excellent as well. This one does not look like a Commodore 64 game. And it's super responsive as well, so I think you can, yeah, it says there push fire, so yep, you can get 2 players. I think every version apart from the Game Boy you could have 2 people playing at the same time. Yeah, I notice in this version you can sort of bash, if you're bashing a baddie and another baddie comes up to you, you end up bashing him as well. I'm sure in the arcade when you couldn't do that. I think you could only kill one baddie at the same, you know, at any one time. Now the only thing I would say missing from this one, which I'm surprised about, now it may be that I've turned the music off and it's the fact that there's no music. I'm not normally a fan of music in arcade games, you know, especially shoot 'em ups, because I always think it kind of interacts from what you're actually trying to do. But I think the music definitely adds something to the game. It's part and parcel of the experience of the game. So it could well be that I've just turned it off. I'd be very surprised if they hadn't included the music. I mean, you know, I've lost count the number of arcade conversions for the C64 that turn out to be absolute garbage, but usually music's really good. But this is very impressive. So anyway, listen, that is the last version we're going to look at. Just running in order of which we looked at. Game Boy, again, really nice. It's obviously black and white, or white and different colours of grey. Super responsive, looks excellent, plays amazing. It's obviously got a zoomed in screen because of the small screen, but really good version. Atari ST is absolutely top notch. you know, it's almost arcade perfect. It's really nice. Slightly slow, but you know, nothing to write home about. Spectrum one is excellent. Obviously, it's black and white graphics, but it plays really well and it looks nice. The Amiga one is just, to my mind, it is the arcade. It is, I couldn't really fault it for anything. Amstrad one, slightly disappointed with that version. I did get into it, but it's just a bit slow. I don't know why it, you know, it plays so slowly, because it's not particularly high res graphics, although it has got really good colour, so maybe that's the reason. I'm not too sure, but still a nice version, but not as good as I expected. The NES one, again, it's a slight kind of what do you call it, a remix of the original. You know, it plays the same, it's got slightly different graphics, and I think the layout, some of the levels is slightly different, but again, very good. And the C64 one, well, you've just heard me rave about it. I just think it's super impressive. It doesn't look like a C64 game, and I mean that, you know, in a complimentary fashion. So in bronze position, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. In bronze, I am going to go for, I think I'm going to go for the Spectrum. I'm going to go for the Spectrum in third place. Second place, I've got to go for the C64 one. Yeah, I mean the Atari ST is stonking, but I just think it's an incredible conversion on the C64, so that's going to be my second place. Silver medal position. Gold medal, it can only be one, it's got to be the Amiga one. You know, you'd expect it to have a good conversion. It's obviously the most powerful machine out of all the ones we looked at, but it's an absolutely stonking conversion. The Atari ST is a close second to that one. So, yep, bronze position is Spectrum. Silver medal is Commodore 64, and in first place is the Commodore Amiga. So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If there's a game you want to see featured in this, please put your comments below, and lastly, thank you very much for watching.